Welcome back, MMAOddsBreaker. Today we're bringing in Dave Vitkay, getting ready to fight Wesley Barnes coming up here on Legacy 47. Um, the A-Town org, who
A-Town Ogre.
who came up with that?
Well, a couple of years ago, people said I look like Shrek or look like an ogre, and then I've been trying to think for years of a nickname, and then it just kind of clicked. Like I was like eight because it's Atlanta, A Town, and ogre.
It, uh, it. From just reading it, it's like a big long stretch to get there. Like it's like it's like one of those nicknames you're like, that's a lot of work to get to that one nickname. But now that you explain it, it makes sense. So it's
Yeah, the guys from Legacy were calling me a Town ogre, and they weren't pronouncing it right. It's A Town ogre because anyone from Atlanta knows it's called eight. We call it A Town.
yeah. That's right. I lived in Atlanta for couple weeks, about 12 weeks over a couple different years, 6 weeks at a time, and it was I learned quickly. Like it's A town. You learn very fast but if you're not from there or haven't been around or not from Georgia, you don't really know what's going on. I can see the mistake. I loved it. I actually loved it. I spent a lot of time over in Flowery Branch, down at Flowery Branch in Lake Lanier, so. I liked it a lot, living out there in the burbs, and it was for me. I don't mind driving, so to get back in, to go to what is it? Not Buckethead. What's it called?
Buckhead. Yeah, you
Yeah,
get it
Buckhead.
right.
To get to
Buckhead.
Buckhead, it was like
Yeah.
whatever 20 minutes. To me, that was fine. It was like a totally doable drive to go if I want to go out that night. The biggest problem was that you drive in and have to cab home, and how you get killed. But yeah, I liked it. I liked Atlanta a lot. It's a good city. I enjoy it. There's actually a ton of acting and stunt work out there right now. Obviously, The Walking Dead is one of the big productions that are out there, and they just finished filming Captain America out there. The next Captain America movie was filmed out there as well. So there's a lot of stuff out to be done out there besides being a great town, good food, good light, good nightlife, and then of course the sports teams.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you like? Is Atlanta the only place you've ever lived?
I lived in Detroit, Michigan for 25 years, and then I moved here 10 years ago. And
Why did you move to
I
Atlanta?
originally moved here to go to Life University, which is a chiropractic college. And I started there, and just it wasn't for me. I just kind of lost interest, and you know now I'm doing my passion and my hobby that I love what I'm doing now.
Are you you're still working? You're not making enough money as a pro fighter to be just a pro fighter. So what do you do for your?
Right? Yeah, I'm still working. I'm doing personal training, and I teach some kickboxing classes, just helping other people get in shape.
So were you doing mixed martial arts when you were in Michigan before you made the move out to Atlanta?
Yes, I was kind of one of those guys that was like, I loved it, and it was illegal in Michigan, and I was. I mean, I fight at 170 now, but at the time I was fighting at 205, and I didn't know any better. And they were, my coaches or whatever you want to call them would. I was just like taking fights just to take them, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I just really enjoyed it, and now I'm like, I wish I would have known what I knew then what I know now, but it is what it is.
You look at your record. It's not a very good record. You're looking at it. It's 15-12. It's kind of a crappy record. But then you go back and actually look at it, like kind of dissect it. You've won your last 5 fights in a row.
Yes, sir.
Before that, you had a two fight losing streak, but you won 3 fights in a row before that. So you're starting to get kind of on a rhythm. So sometimes you're a guy that, like, looking at the record doesn't really do you justice as far as like how the fight, what kind of fighter I'm looking at. And we've
Right.
seen a lot of improvement over your last 5 fights. It's been kind of a little weird situation. Of course, you had those 3 fights in Bellator that you won, and then you're making a jump over to Legacy. Now, your contract with Bellator is still active, correct?
Yes. I'm not really sure exactly. That before when Bjorn Rebney was the owner or the head guy, my manager was in with those guys, so that's how I was getting fights. And then when Scott Coker took over, they kind of took a different route. They got women fighting, and they're getting Ken Shamrock versus Kimbo Slice. So I kind of got brushed underneath the rug. You know, they like having local guys, and I want to fight Brennan Ward over in Bellator. I think he's right at my level. They keep marketing him. I was supposed to fight him like 2 years ago, and I flew out to Connecticut to fight him, and one of the guys in the tournament got hurt, so they took Brennan Ward and put him in the tournament, and I was stuck without an opponent. So ever since then, I've always wanted that rematch or that chance to fight him again.
So what's happened, Bellator? You still have a contract with him though, right? Like you're still able to.
Well, I never got cut from them, but they haven't had me back, if that makes any sense. They go ahead. Yeah, I mean, ever yeah, like Bjorn Rebney took no, or I'm sorry, Scott Coker took over, and they're looking for like the younger guys with the 10-2s, the 10-1s, the 7-0s. They're looking for those type of guys. They're not. I like you were saying earlier, my record doesn't reflect the fighter that I am.
Yeah, and there's been a huge difference in your fight game and your fight style. Your fighter IQ has jumped up tremendously in the last 5 fights. You've really gotten a good run, and that goes all the way back to 2012. In July 2012 was the beginning of this 5-fight win streak for you. You have 3 fights in Bellator, submission, 2 submissions in a row in Bellator, and then you get a decision. And then the last time you fought Tommy Jones in Legacy, you get another submission. So your game is definitely improving. And I already talked to Wesley, and he is using this fight as, I beat Dave, then I'm gonna be able to jump into Bellator. Like then Bellator's gonna start coming looking at me because he's a Bellator fighter. So, but you beating Wesley, what does that actually do? If Bellator is already not calling you, is this gonna make Bellator want all of a sudden, oh, we need this guy to come into our back into our fold, or is this gonna be a situation where you're still gonna have to look to find other work?
Well, Frank, to be honest with you, I'm near the end of my career. I'm going to keep knocking down doors and keep winning fights. If UFC calls me, awesome. If Bellator possibly calls me, awesome. I'm looking to get back into the bigger show. Even Legacy, I mean, I wouldn't mind being their 170-pound champ. So I'm taking the end of my career and just going and running with it. You know what I mean? Just making the most of it.
How old are you now? 35?
35.
So yeah, you got a couple of years left in you. If you
couple years.
So what are you going to do though when you're done? Like what's going to be your main goal? Because obviously you're not making enough money as a fighter to be only a fighter. So you're already doing personal training. Are you going to expand your personal training business? Are you going to go back to school and finish up, not chiropractic because that's not your gig, but
right.
Go into something else. What are your plans after you retire?
Well, that's still up in the air. I mean, I wouldn't mind, possibly being partners with somebody in a gym, or I being fit. I've got to have some type of purpose in life, and it just feels like this is it.
Well, let's break down Wesley then, because this is the purpose you have in life right now is to beat Wesley Barnes come up here in a week or so.
Yeah.
How do you see this fight breaking down? Like, how do you see him as a competitor? I mean, obviously you've seen tape on him. Right?
Yeah, no, he's good. I don't think he's got the experience, obviously, as me with only like 5 fights or so, but he's good. I mean, he's a wrestler / I hear he's a striker, but he tends to come into the fights and just close the distance and try to out wrestle people and outgrind them. And that's kind of my game. You're not going to outgrind me.
So how do you see this fight ending? Wesley thinks he's going to finish you sometime around the middle of the end of the second. So how do you think you're going to finish this fight?
Well, I picture, it could be the first round, it could be the third round. I don't make any predictions like that, but I do see me on top of him, beating on him, and him getting sick and tired of it and doing a stupid mistake and me catching him with something, whether it's a guillotine or a rear naked choke or arm triangle. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be, but That's how I picture it.
So you're ranked number 1 in the state of Georgia, right, at the weight class, and he's ranked number 2 in the state of Georgia at the weight class.
Yes.
And it's Atlanta versus Savannah in Atlanta. So this is like an interstate rivalry, right? So
Yep.
we were talking earlier about how Bellator likes the local guys, and they're trying to make it, Bellator always wants to have the local guys fight, and that's kind of their mindset. When they go to Connecticut, they want Connecticut guys to fight. When they go to California guys to fight. But that's basically what Legacy did too. Legacy just came to Atlanta.
Absolutely.
And put the top 2 guys together, in the co-main event. So Legacy is actually following the Bellator format, but Legacy is just doing it in Atlanta, which gives you the opportunity to fight, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So is this a big rivalry? Do you feel like it's a big rivalry to get ready to go against Wesley, or is this just like another guy that's because both of you guys are so kind of I don't want to say sleepy about it, but both of you are so kind of. This is just kind of what we do. There's kind of, but both of you are like, hey, this is 1 versus 2. It's Savannah versus Atlanta. This is it's like for anybody else, this is like a big hype, thing. And both of you are kind of like, it's just another fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I wouldn't say there's necessarily any rivalry or anything like that. Any opponent that I take on, they're trying to beat me. I'm trying to beat them. I don't care if it's here in Atlanta or if it's in California or Maine. I'm going to do a job, and I'm ready.
That's David Vitkay getting ready to fight Wesley Barnes coming up here on on Legacy 47 that can be seen on Access TV on Friday night, October 16th. Dave, thanks so much for spending some time with us. I appreciate it. I know it's a Saturday and it's a client day for you, so I know you can make a little bit extra money, and I appreciate taking a couple minutes in between to have a chat with us.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. We'll talk again soon.
Take care, Frank.